Let me know if I'm too
There
bright.
we are. We are live. It is Sunday, March the 22nd, 2020. We are all in lockdown, but they're not going to stop us from having fun. I'm Ben. I'm hanging out here on the Sunday night show with my good friend and fellow YouTuber. And he's not bad on the sixth string as well, folks. Steve from Boston himself. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing well. I have escaped the virus so far.
So far, yes.
And we are socially distancing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
which isn't much difference for a YouTuber, really.
No, for me, it's pretty much business as usual. The only thing I couldn't do that sort of bummed me out was I do have an item or two I'd like to bring to the dump and to recycling, and they won't take anything right now. There's a temporary halt to taking any items in. So all I can bring is like lawn and leaf, and I don't really have any of that right now. It's,
right.
It's not that time of season. So, yeah, but other than that, it's been pretty much business as usual. My wife can work from home, and they just picked up a whole new account because she does this sort of like web stuff, and that's still going on, right?
Sure.
That industry hasn't really been hit yet. And the kids are basically, you hear it?
Yep.
The kids are kind of doing like the online schooling for the most part. It's not the same as it was, but at least it's something. But the schools right now are just kind of worrying what they're going to do, regarding, are they going to grade kids because they're not in school? It's a little bit of a conundrum for them. They don't know.
Sure.
They've never seen anything like this. And I keep trying to tell my kids, no. I'm old. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Nothing like this. No.
Nope.
This is whole new territory. I have never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And the last person to see anything like this, my dad said when he was a kid, polio.
Yep.
That was a thing, and it was really scaring people, and people couldn't really relax and gather in large gatherings until the vaccine was out. And then it was like, okay. All right.
When you brought that up on your show last night, it literally was like bells going off. I'm like, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
There's that social aspect to it.
Yeah, there was always, he said, it's like people would kind of get together, but there was always an uneasy feeling, and really large crowds people tried to avoid. Like a fair, rather than going like shopping. You still had to go shopping.
Right. So. Well, we got a bunch of people in here already. We'll do a roll call here, and I'm going to start out of order because already going to it. Bent Rossum himself, he says, Steve from Boston, no, you rock. Love you, brother.
No, you rock.
Gotta love Bent Rossum. He's been shouting me out something fierce earlier today during Pete Thorne's live stream. He did a super chat just to egg Pete into coming on here one night. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Let's see. We have Absolute Mayhem. We've got Terry's GG&G, Paul Ewing, David Ennis. What's up, Doc? William De Silva, JP Page 2, Jack the Rabbit. Let's see. Randy Crooks. A lot of familiar names here. Paul Liu, Dan in New Jersey, Mickey Studelmeyer, Thomas Santiago. All right. Nick KB Music, Bent Rossum, of course, Frank C., Dennis Brio, Jimmy Biter, Aaron Cram, Ivan Carter, Marxo's Images, Leila's Guitar Daddy, Stephen S., George Lackey. All right. And I think, Chuck Booth, hello. Grumpy Mike, Jack Clark, Brack Stubblefield, Electro Omega, Bobby Clipper, BC Rich 581, and Brendan Buttcheeks B Squared, Lonnie Zampira. There we are.
Of course.
Of course, as soon as I said roll call, everyone's like, hi.
I'm checking with my people. They're telling me if that's correct.
All right. That's good. All right. Metalhead Hippie tuning in from Alaska.
How's my picture look? This is a brand new laptop, and sadly, I'm not plugged in. I'm going wirelessly, but I did just upgrade my whole thingamarig lately to 5G. So I should be, sky's the limit, way past what my internet can upload. So
sure.
The backbone should be good. I have a gigabit backbone, and this should be connecting at a maximum of about 800 megabit.
Nice.
And I have a 120 megabit up, so I'm hoping it's okay.
Well, you know, that's a little bit better than my 0.7 up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's like pre-1996 for me.
That's where the social distancing hurts, because I would go into town to the local music store and use their internet to upload videos. So
Right.
Yeah,
we got our first 1.5 megabit connection in January of '96. The guy literally had the guy at my house. It was approved for 1996, right? That's when the contract started. I had the guy at my house on January 2nd,
nice,
1996.
Perfect. BC Rich says, kudos on the advice on how to properly do a top wrapping on a Tune-o-matic bridge. Finished earlier today while watching Pete Thorne. Awesome. And Jack the Rabbit asked if I had shaved my beard off. No. When trimming your beard, check the height of the guard before you start trimming, folks.
My guard went missing. I had to order a replacement guard. So my beard's getting a little long.
Yeah.
And I haven't got my hair cut since right before NAMM. My reason why it even doesn't look all poofy is because I got gel in it. But I need a haircut so bad. And wait, so do you. Jesus, look at you.
I got mine cut just before NAMM too. Oh, wait, that was NAMM last year. Right.
But I'm pretty sure the barber is closed. I'm not positive.
RJ said yesterday on his show, he said he got a haircut, but his barber is doing it out of his house now.
Oh, really? Wow. Mm-hmm. One appointment at a time?
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, just take appointments. Yeah. Yeah, barbers. They'll run out of the house. I'm sure he's properly zoned and all.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, because those inspectors were out checking anyways, right?
Yeah, I tell you, my dad had that. There was a barber down in where I grew up that my dad used to go to when the building got sold. And he just was like, all right, whatever. And he just ran out of his basement for like 2 or 3 more years before he retired. Sure. He's like, whatever. He just did appointments out of his basement. He didn't care. But it's pretty illegal. There's no way he was supposed to be doing that. But
exactly.
I think right now people will forgive you to try to earn some money while everything's shut down.
Exactly. Well, there's Crowbar. Everything's shut down in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Oh, because they weren't following protocol. Okay. There's my cousin Doug, down and back with Corn Doug. He did his first live stream yesterday. He's doing another one on Wednesday, folks. If you're into the sport of cornhole, Doug's the guy to talk to.
I wonder if I can make you a little larger here. No, maybe. I'll go. Can I F11 in full screen? Oh, better.
Aha.
Screen. Yeah.
Bonus.
Oh, can I look at live comments right here? Oh my God, I can.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I can see the comments right here.
And I get to do fancy things like a ticker.
Whoa.
It's an amazing time we live in.
Yes, color me impressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't have the flame cam, but I have a ticker.
It's a tricky technology.
Yes. Blackie said, "Hey, Blackie, good to see you, man." He says, "Sup? See, you still got that Kramer?" Oh yeah, right there. He actually played that guitar before me because he lives in Fort Wayne, and I picked it up at the Sweetwater event a couple years ago, and it was a local pawn shop that was selling it there. So he's like, "I know that guitar." Hey, BV, salut, mon ami. Another late night in Switzerland for BV.
Yeah, real late, yeah. Probably 2 a.m.
So yes, folks, if you have any questions for either of us, ask away. We can even try to answer the questions.
Yeah, I'm Steve from the attic right now. I had a mutiny. There's a damn mutiny on me. Torches and pitchforks. They're like, "You're not having another one in the basement." And I was completely banished to the attic. I was like, all right, fine. I'll go to the attic. I didn't want to belong to your crappy club for jerks anyway. I'm just going to go. But, yeah, Yeah. You know what? They wanted to be on the first floor. So
Sure.
it's like, okay.
Bobby Clipper says, no guitars from my 4 local guitar centers. They're all closed. I saw the chain here, Long McQuaid, did close. However, Ardens is doing, well, like they're both doing the curbside pickup, but Ardens, you can come in. They're allowing a couple people in at a time, and you have to wash your hands between touching each guitar.
Yeah, Best Buy's doing the curbside. I think a lot of restaurants have been getting emails telling me, they'll do curbside. They're like, we're still doing takeout, bro. And but I think you can still get delivery, or I don't know if they're making it pick up. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think you can still get delivery.
Excellent. There's China Mike. He says, don't forget to give Steve my best, dude. I just did.
Wow.
Yes. He was live earlier, and I asked him, I said, hey, I got Steve coming on. Do you have a question for Steve? He says, no, just give him my love. I said, okay,
wow.
we can do that.
China Mike. He's awesome. What's crazy is when you look at a map, at like rush hour and it's completely green on Google. It's like, huh. All right. I mean, even on a Sunday, in Boston, there's red somewhere. And,
right.
There's really no day, during the weekdays, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even Saturday is pretty heavy, especially in the summer. It'd be really crazy, but empty, just empty.
Yeah. I've got the highways just out here, and it's still steady, but I can hear the volume of traffic. There's much more gaps.
Yeah.
In the noise.
Right.
My niece heard us. What's for dinner or lunch? That's a good question. We know Steve's family's having pizza.
Yeah. And calzone, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a buffalo chicken calzone with a blue cheese dipping sauce and a cheese pizza.
Yeah, there's Mars Man, Vandy Man, all kinds of mans in here. Love it. So post NAMM, things have been going pretty well for you.
So yeah, so music therapy says, in some ways it's worse than 9/11. Yeah, because it's affecting a lot more people. Right? It's because the effects of 9/11 were devastating but concentrated, right? To a small area.
Yeah.
But a dense area. I mean, obviously it was horrible, but this is going to be the way this is going. It's just affecting so many freaking people. Every time you turn around, somebody else is like coming out. One of the guys on the Celtics is found to be, Rand Paul today. They said it's infected. It's like, it's like again. I could have sworn they were going to come out and say that someone on that team up there was infected, because it's just going crazy. Like I said last night, there's a guy like way deep in the prison who's been tested for it after showing symptoms, and clearly he got infected by someone who wasn't showing symptoms, and was visited. It's sort of a medium security, so they get visitors.
Sure.
And he must have got a visitor that got him ill. So it's like,
it's that 2-week incubation period. Like, how much can you do in 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary because you have people without symptoms who are spreading it around. It's like a damn zombie apocalypse. Like, what are you gonna do? I tell you, I've been I can't. I am very lucky. First, let me just say I'm very lucky in that as of right now, we're not like knocked out of our job like so many people are. But so in that sense, it's almost a time to say, okay, the kids are home. It's time to clean our rooms, right? This is going to be probably at least a few months. Why don't we just occupy ourselves, clean this place up? So,
sure.
It's you find things to do around the house, things that just need labor, things that don't need money spent, or goods purchased, things that we can just do by by cleaning and rearranging. And well, that's where the dump is becoming a problem, because it's hard to get rid of. I don't know. It depends on the state where you live. I think it's a little easier, but around here you can't just put anything on the curb.
Right.
It really is a problem. So you've got to fit it in this small barrel. And if it's anything larger than, and we have regular trash has to go in that barrel. So anything more than that, really you have to take it up to the dump. And the dump is pretty much saying like, yeah, unless it's lawn and leaf. Because the lawn and leaf, you just go and you back your car down and you're away from everybody. You empty your car out and then you drive away. They just make separators to keep people separated. But for the, the bulk items and metal items and hard plastic, they take styrofoam, they take cardboard, all that stuff. You're close proximity to other people, and they're like, nope, it's all shut down. So
I hear you on that. And welcome. We got Lawrence Petross of LPD Pedals in here.
Oh, hello.
6-string Brian, and JP Page 2 has to head out. Have a good night, JP Page. Awesome. Yeah, it's interesting though. I did a bit of a rant on Facebook the other day because I'm at Walmart, and with all this social distancing, so they've got tape lines set up in the checkout so nobody's within 6 feet. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But the rule that got me was they don't bag your items in checkout because of the virus. Meanwhile, they're still handling every single item that goes through and then placing them down on the area right next to where the bags would be anyways. And then you're leaning in closer to them to grab your items. So it's like, I have grippers, like 3-foot grippers. And I also have boxes of non-latex gloves that I got from Costco, and they're big giant boxes of them. I probably have a couple of thousand pairs, of they're not latex gloves. They're specifically non-latex gloves, right? They're probably vinyl or whatever. And I tell you, when I get a shipment from Amazon lately, I've been picking it up either using the grips, right, keeping it at a distance, like leave it on the porch, or I'll pick it up with the gloves on, and I'll take it down and I'll just put it in the basement, and I'll just leave it there for like 2 or 3 days, because they say on cardboard it doesn't really last, Right.
So I'll just say I'll give it a day or two. I'm in no rush to open the box. I know what's in it. I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's saying nitrile gloves and such.
Yeah, it's probably what they are, nitrile. That's probably exactly what they are, if I had to guess, nitrile. Yeah. They're Kirkland, which means that the box, it's like 4 billion pairs in a friggin' it's a huge Costco box of them. And I have like 2 boxes in the basement, another box out in the garage, and then a giant bag of gloves I never even opened from Home Depot. Those might be vinyl gloves. I think they even say right on the side of the bag, vinyl gloves. So I have 2 types. I'm good. What I don't have, I have 1 mask. I have a nosh mask, and that's it. So
yeah, just
I was wearing it. My wife was like, "Where's our masks?" I was like, "You get your own mask." What do I look like, mask man? Like,
but it's like the other day, I went out to do some grocery shopping, and it's like, they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. We're at the point where it's foraging, because to get your essentials, you got to go to 4 or 5 places."
Yeah. You're like, dispensaries are open. See ya.
Yeah.
Actually, they closed the bars, which they should have. You can't have that. I think liquor stores are open.
Well, sure. Yeah, they're open here too. I guess that's considered an essential service. Which
there's a massive dispensary in Boston. It's so busy. They see 2,500 people a day.
Wow!
And because it's so busy and the lines are so long, they cut recreational out from service. So that cut the line down to like non-existent in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now you need a med card to go in there and get anything, and that pretty much cut everybody out. People, they're adjusting.
Yep.
They're making adjustments.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about that around here because we got the Indian reservation. It's 3,000 residents and I think 90 plus dispensaries on there.
Wow.
Yeah. Because everybody's turning the front room of their living room of their house into a dispensary.
Right.
Not that I'm complaining, you know.
Yeah, that bedroom was that bedroom's now a grow room.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
And
Actually, we can
Milbrine's
grow.
saying all the.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know for sure, but I think we can grow in my state. When I say it's like 12 plants per household, single family household. As long as it contains 2 adults. If it has only 1 adult, then I think it's 6 plants.
They did 4 per adult here in the province.
4,
Here
yeah,
in Canada. Yeah.
yeah. No, that'll keep you busy.
Yeah. Hey, Adam D. Yeah. Well, it is springtime.
Yeah.
You know, I did travel through there the other day, and there are all these big signs: clones, cheap, clones.
Yeah. How much for the greenhouse?
Yeah.
Like you're on the back. I'll take the shotgun. I'll take the greenhouse. I'll take the.
Well, that's the funniest part is like the highway goes by the reservation and you get within half a mile of the off ramp and you can smell it in the air. It's like, it is literally an industry down there.
I literally walked out of the front door of the airport in Amsterdam and smelled weed. I was like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Like literally right out the front door. I was like, huh, I guess we are in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Well, I think, that was what, NAM trip this year. I think I hit a dispensary within 15, 20 minutes of landing.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, yeah, here, just fill out the form. Yeah, and it's funny because it's still weird in California that they still wanted me to become a patient, but you don't need any doctor's note to be a patient of the dispensary. So I'm like, sure.
Right. Yeah. See, if you follow the stories on the Boston Globe site, they have a whole section dedicated to it. Around here, it seems like all the places are out in pretty rural areas. In any area that's sort of got any sort of like city-like atmosphere,
right?
They don't have anything there right now, and so it's almost like I don't know what the deal is, but that just seems to be what I see in the paper. And so, like right now, I think that one in Brookline. Again, which wasn't in Boston, it was just like right next to Boston,
right?
Like literally on the line, right? Like literally 10 feet from the border of the city,
right.
And that's why they were so busy, because there is nothing, I think, around Boston. It's like everything is like, I think, pretty far out. It's a big drive for everyone,
right?
Yeah. So. Were you there?
We have a gear-related question. Ooh.
Oh.
Charlie S. asks, Steve, any experience with the katana head?
I haven't checked out the head. I do have the Katana 100 right behind me on the floor right here. That's the Katana, the first one. I did speak with Boss recently. We've been emailing back and forth, and they're going to send me when they get it in stock. And I'm sure they're having they're figuring out how they're going to run their business and get stuff out the door while still retaining keeping people apart. So we'll see, but they're going to send me, I think, a Katana 2.
Nice.
The same one though, the 100, so I can compare them, right? So it'll be the same one, and I think even if you have a Katana 1, I don't know if you need the Katana 2. I think even with the Katana 1, if you have a Katana 2, you can set it up as a stereo effect. I'm not positive, but I will see if that is true, or if they both have to be Mark IIs to make that happen. But that'd be great to set up a a nice little stereo amp. That'd be pretty slick.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah. And then I like the Katana. I tell you, over at my desk downstairs, not the desk I sit at, for the live shows or I record the videos. There's another desk across the room. It used to be my editing desk before up here. Now I guess this side. That monitor there, that's one of my monitors for editing, right? I edit videos up here now. But down over at that desk, I have a little Katana Mini that the boss gave me. I was at some event, and the guy's like, "Hey, it was so small, right? It's tiny." He's like, take it back to your room. You can fool around with it. You can take it home if you want. I was like, all right, cool. It's almost like a little toy. It's like, it's like this big. Damn, if it doesn't sound good, though. I was like, wow. The key with that amp is it's a little bright and shrill if it's facing you. And I just have like a few things on my desk, like old cables and stuff that's wrapped up. And I just tilt it down, but it's still up a little bit. It's almost at like a little downward angle because I have like some USB cables and stuff like in there that's sort of like acting like a little,
right,
keeping it up, from completely hitting the ground, and it sounds amazing.
Nice.
Because it's like a high pass filter, right?
Right.
Because those reflections, it really does it completely kills out that direct high. Sounds so friggin' good.
Nice.
You throw it on the clean mode with the gang cranked, that little katana. I like the katana series. I think it sounds really good. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but they made a Class A/B solid state amp, which isn't a G thing.
Okay. Yeah, there's Johnny Bean.
Johnny Bean.
Dennis Rio asks, ever try a guitar with a Seymour Duncan JB in the neck? You, Steve, anyone in the chat? I'm curious because I bought a guitar online and both the pickups are JBs. I've only ever played with JBs and bridges. I've never tried a neck JB myself. How about you?
Only the JB Junior. It's not the same form factor, right? You ever play the JB Junior in the neck?
I may have.
Looks like a single coil, but it's got two tiny little rail. You know what I'm saying? It's got two little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a little mini JB, but it's in the single coil form factor. I had one of those in a guitar, and it sounded amazing.
Nice.
But we both know it's not a JB, right? No
Right.
matter how. I mean, they're branding it that, they're marketing it is that. It probably does have a lot of the same characteristics as the JB, which is why they sort of did that. But it's a completely different form factor, right? Than the real JB. So there's that. But I thought it sounded amazing in the neck. Really good.
See, my lovely sister Amanda made it tonight. Nice. CSS. Craig Tomlinson.
No, it's usually the Jazz goes in the neck, right? Or the 59.
Right. Yeah, I was just seeing Marco's images was saying it's been known to happen. Give it a play. If you don't like it, sell the JB neck for a 59.
Yeah, that's pretty much usually what people do. They'll do the JB in the bridge, 59 or the Jazz in the neck. Pretty standard.
Yeah,
that's what's in my Charvel, right? JB in the bridge, right, and a 59 in the neck.
Exactly. It's a classic combo.
Classic combo.
Everyone's saying hey to each other. 6-string Stanger. Hello. Let's see. Dale Palmer says, I think the Katana is solid state with built-in effects, but not exactly modeling.
Yeah, I think it's an analog distortion circuit.
Okay.
Yeah, with it's like an analog distortion, but the one thing they kept telling me is they're like, mate, this is Class AB. This is Class AB. This isn't Class D, mate. Class AB. I was like, I believe you. I'm hearing you. You're repeating that over and over again. Okay. So for whatever, I don't know how they do it. I always thought I didn't know Class A. I think of that as a tube thing.
Yeah.
Right? Class A, Class AB, right? I don't really think of that as a solid state thing, but they were really going off on how it was Class AB.
Yeah, I figured
really solid state Class AB? Never heard of it. And it clearly doesn't have a tube in it because it's instantly available. Even the orange little, terrace stamp there takes a few minutes before you hear anything because the tube in it has to warm up.
Exactly.
It takes like 30 seconds before you start to hear it, and it very slowly, the volume very slowly comes up.
Bent Rossum asks, what years were you at Berkeley? My buddies were there in the mid-90s.
Oh, it's adorable. I was there in 83. So
that's a little before the mid-90s.
A little before.
A little
I remember after I was only there for the summer. I did the summer program in between my junior and senior years in high school. Right? So I was still in high school when I went to Berkeley. It was so
Okay.
weird, so like a little bizarre because I literally got out of school for high school for the summer, and like the next week was at Berkeley, like back in school again. I was like,
Right.
I can't believe I'm back in school again. Because when you're that age, like you're really looking forward to the summer and not being in school. I'm like,
Exactly.
and it was, Berkeley back then was this magical fantasy land, and the magical fantasy land that was in Boston. It's like, we could see Boston from where we lived. I mean, it was like right there, right, off in the distance, but we lived in the city, but we were just far enough out that it still felt a little far away. But I just got my license, and I said, you know what? I'll drive in. And I got into a relationship with a parking garage that was right there.
Nice.
And they were good to me. They were so good to me. I knew that I had never experienced anything like it, but I remember one day going in there and they were so busy, and I pulled up and they had a full sign. I was like, oh no. And he came running out. He said, no, come on. We got a spot for you. And then he told me, he goes, every time you see that, you pull up. He goes, we have a spot for you. I'll save you a spot every day.
Damn.
And I was like, dude,
Yeah, exactly.
man.
Gotta love that.
I loved it.
I want to thank you, James Severin. Some TP money.
Yeah.
Try to find it. Exactly.
Yeah, I was there summer. And I remember at the end of the summer, I was so like, into the area. I was always going back down there. And I remember going into the Bentley Smoker across the street, which was this, it was like a tobacco shop, but quite frankly, they did so many things. They had T-shirts and, cassette copying services and, all this crazy stuff. And they had a huge magazine rack. And I remember walking in there and picking up the very first issue of Guitar for the Practicing Musician magazine.
Oh, wow.
And saying like, well, this is new. What's this? New guitar magazine? Huh? It's got tabs in it? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that magazine friggin' exploded. But they got so huge. They eventually were pretty much it. And I think eventually Guitar World bought them, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah. And I think they ran parallel for a little while, and then it just kind of went away. Hey, there's Guitar Hack. Good to see you.
Someone asked if they sold the real book there. They didn't. There was a guy who had like one screwed up eye and a dog with him at all times. Everybody knew this dude. Right? The dude with the screwed up eye and the dog. And he used to be in front of Berkeley like all the time. He would set up like little tables and sell books out there. And he never had a permit. He gets shut down all the time. But I never bought the real book from him. I should have. He was so much more blatant about it back then. He would go out just on the few first days when like class first started, and he'd set up a little table.
Sure.
And I remember buying from him. I didn't buy the real book, but I bought the super rare The Other book.
Ah.
And I still have. I was just looking at it recently. And that book is great. It has it's really a lot of the stuff that's really more of like the fusion stuff. So it's got like a lot of Steely Dan, Stevie Wonder, Pat Metheny, Weather Report. There's just so many. It's got a few standards in it, but not really. It's really more like fusion stuff. So an amazing book. For the real book, I had to go to Mr. C's. That was pretty much supposed to go for the real book.
I see Mel O'Brien's looking for a boost pedal for a little extra oomph. Any suggestions? I'm a Talion bridge pickup person. I have a Denon switchable Class A up to 15 watts or Class B up to 65 watts. I would say talk to Lawrence right here in the chat. I know he's discontinuing them, but he may still have some of his Chola, if I'm saying that right, or Chula Boost, which is a little Class A amp in a box that has the most wonderful sound, and it's up to a 25 decibel boost. It's a great little pedal. And I actually like to use it for my bass.
Yeah, for boost, Engel sent me a boost that was pretty sick. But it's not very strong. It's almost like a clean boost. You know, it's a light boost. Depends on how much you want for a boost. I almost rather get an overdrive. You know what I'm saying? And then just turn all the volumes down, right? And just work with it that way.
That works too.
It gives you more range.
Yeah.
You know, than just a straight up boost.
It was funny when I was using, I did a gig subbing and playing bass, and I was using that Chola drive as my clean boost, just put the Ampeg amp on the edge of breakup. But I kept scooting it with my toe throughout the night. So by the end of the night, I was full-blown geezer, distorted humbucker on the bass. You know, it was great. So it will push you into overdrive, that's for sure, on a tube amp. Hey, James Severin.
What's up, James?
People all talking about the real book.
Yeah, the real book.
Lauren said he bought his from a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy back in the day.
Yeah, that was pretty much how it used to. They used to be when I first got to Berkeley, which was the spring of '83, right? Really summer of '83, really spring. It was no, probably well anyway, yeah, the end of June, really, right before the 4th of July was when I started. They were pretty blatant about it. They were pretty crazy about it out front, out in front of the building. I heard they cracked down like a year or two later, but when I was first there, they were pretty bold. They just be out there with tables and set up. Then again, right around the corner, there were several 3-card Monty games going on. You know, if you were feeling lucky. Spoiler alert. There was zero chance you could win.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking about that a few years ago. I was walking up Yonge Street, the main drag in Toronto, and I'm outside the mall there. And I was like, man, I remember when I used to be able to buy a fake Rolex for $10, and they had like full booths, like just tables, and set up and fake that, they had the purses, they had the watches and stuff like that. And I was like, I miss those days. And then you say like the 3-card Monty, and of course they got rid of all the more adult themed, we'll say, businesses up and down the main drag, because it was a lot like Times Square. And then like Times Square, they made it family based. It's not the same with the sleaze.
I used to get approached by there was a big Scientology group around there, so I was always asked if I want to go take a personality test. And I was like, no, good. Okay. They'd be like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, no, pretty good. I'm good. I used to get that a lot. That particularly that summer.
Right.
Like it seemed to be a thing. Like they had something going on like nearby. They probably had opened a facility or whatever, but it was always like some hot chick. Hey. I'd be like, hey. They're like, you want to take a personality test? I'm fuck.
Yeah.
Christ. No.
BV says another great option for a boost is the Secret Preamp by Chase Tone, which is a great Echoplex preamp, which G. Smith uses, amongst others. Yes, that's a good one. And Lawrence is mentioning various boosts that he has. He has a Klon-style boost if you want a dirty boost. And then he's got, the Muggy-Own as well, which is a 25 decibel flat boost. I have one of those as well.
You? Yeah. I mean, I knew you had pedals. I didn't know you had pedals.
Oh, yeah.
20 bonus points to anyone who can identify the genesis of that quote.
Let's see if we have a winner in the chat.
Spock amp. Spock. Spock booster. LPDA went boost crazy for a while. It happens. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
It's okay. We understand.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You're
He's
among
just
friends.
like, I designed this one, and he'd send one up to me, and I got to the point where I'm stacking boosts, just getting these weird overdrive tones.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me another single knob boost. I don't care. I'll put it in the chain. Let's see what we can do.
Quite honestly, some of them can really take certain tube amps and overdrive that input in a very, very sweet way. And it is sort of a weird thing that sometimes you'd find in. I'd get like my old Mutron wah. You found out had a knob on the side that you could turn up, and it would really drive the input. And you'd be like, "Wow!" And it was always on. It was like it was just this gain thing. And you could get like a pretty crazy tweed breakup sound just by overdrive on the front of that thing. It sounded pretty damn good. There's definitely some, but I was more of the type of guy who would probably get something like an 808, just turn those knobs way down and use it like a boost like that. And then if I wanted to do something more, I had the bandwidth, right?
Yep. I agree.
Oh, Krellbar. Krellbar. He's my man. He knows my quotes. He's a man of my own heart.
Yep.
Yeah. Krellbar's right. Midnight Run.
See, I expect nothing less from Krellbar because he is the man after all.
Yeah. Bish Posh Bluff and Shaw. Well, we'll break out all the quotes.
Well, in the way Crowbar is, I said to him the other night in the chat, I said, I got Steve coming on. And he says, well, in order to watch your stuff, Ben, I got to be pantsless drinking whiskey. I went, okay, well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to play the stats. He's probably pantsless right now. That's just, I'm just playing the percentages on that one.
Yeah. Harley Hex is asking LPD pedals, who do you sell pedals through? There's a few retail outlets, but you can definitely find them on reverb.com. When in doubt. Or you can get them through Flipside Music, friend of the channel.
He's whiskless, drinking panties. Okay. A cryptic post.
Yeah.
The hell does that mean?
Shorts. Okay.
Okay.
That's kind of a cop-out in between.
Well, no, that's about right because it's about 35 degrees here. Like 2 degrees Celsius for you centigrade people. So shorts, yeah, you're over the line. Once you're above freezing, it's shorts weather.
Let's see. Harley's like, okay, I thought Flipside may have been one. Yes, actually. When am I planning to get the BC light for behind you? Vance is apparently lurking, although he's pretty active in the chat now. So
your hair would work well with a key light. I agree. My key light's just because if I don't have it on, it'll be really dark in here.
There we are. Celsius for centigrade people.
Exactly.
Let's see. Dennis Brio says, I hear no more USA Jacksons, only imports and custom shop. Is this true? I have not heard that. Although it's been a while since I've seen just a standard run US Jackson in a music store. It's usually all Chinese, maybe some Japanese, maybe. I don't remember last time I saw an American built Jackson outside of maybe NAMM.
Right. Well, it feels like they want to move it so that if it's out of the USA, then it's quote unquote custom shop. Right. So it's like, if you want that brand and you want to have a USA, there's no standard production model anymore. It's all quote unquote custom shop. Feels like a money grab to me. Big old money grab.
Yeah. Yeah. Same reason you can't buy a standard US built EVH product. They're all custom shop.
Right.
Built to order. And ironically enough, if you watch any videos of factory tours of Jackson or EVH, the benches are approximately 12 feet apart across the room from each other.
That was a pizza guy.
Yeah. Somebody was asking if you still have your Ibanez Les Paul copy.
I do, of course. I do. Diddly doodly.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what I want to do with that though is I want to the case on that is a little musty. It was in storage for a long time, covered in stickers, and I've really perfected a technique to sort of clean cases. So I want to like do a video where I really just show you how to take all the stickers off, restore the clasps, the chrome on the clasps, and just sort of restore the thing back, to its former glory, to the best you can. And I think both the guitar, I think when I got it, I didn't have the ozone generator. I think it would be in my best interest to do an ozone run on it, because even though I did put some new parts on it, new pickups, new bridge, new tailpiece, it's still a little musty. It was in storage for a very long period of time. And certainly once I take it out of the case, even if it loses its must on the stand for a while, it seems to gain it back whenever I put it back in the case again. So I got to really bombard it with the ozone, and I did that with a Strat. I got that white Strat that I was playing last night.
Right.
It made a huge difference. It was like night and day. It really does work really well on like non-porous surfaces, like the surface of the guitar, right? The case, it's a little bit harder for the ozone to work because it doesn't penetrate the fibers quite as well. But on the surface of some, hard surface like a polyurethane neck or a body, they go to town, and it really does. When you pick up the guitar, it's just neutral, right? There's no smell, right? Because, it really does kill all the odor. So yeah, I think the ozone generator on it would be a good thing to do now that I'm trapped on my little square parcel of land from the virus attack. That wouldn't be a bad thing to do. It's been a little cool and dry, and quite honestly, the technology works better. O3 works better in a slightly more humid environment. Because, just like you don't smell odors as much when it's not as humid, right? Humidity brings out odor. Ozone works better that same sort of way.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So, I don't know why, but it does.
Mysteries of the world. And welcome to everybody that keeps joining in. We're getting a bunch of people still joining in here. Riley tuning in from the UK. A lot of people that don't have to get up for work in the morning. So a lot of people that don't normally get to tune in are tuning in.
Nice.
Yeah. There's Eddie Van Haskell. Music Therapy Labs was asking if this is an AC-15. It used to be an AC-15. The amplifier has been removed, so now it's just a 112 cap. And then there's a Pathfinder above it that's had the speaker removed, so it's now just a Vox head. That's right, a staycation. I like that, Ben.
My niece hurt says he never gets up for work in the morning because he works nights.
LPD says I still have to get up for work in the morning. My boss is a hard ass.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll talk to the board of directors, Lawrence, see if we can't get you some reduced hours in this trying times.
He's the CEO and he's the VP, just in case the CEO is out sick.
And when he's not building pedals, he was doing lessons. So I hope the you've switched online there, Lawrence, and I hope that's going well. We're testing out some stuff for him to be able to do remote lessons last week, so hopefully it's working well.
Steve,
Steve, have you ever tried an HX Effects?
Is that the you talking about the old Helix there? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking Helix? No, and it's a glaring omission in my lineup. I have not. I think a couple of years ago I tried the original Helix, but it was a terrible way to try it. It was in a very crowded room at NAMM, and you couldn't really hear it. I was wearing headphones. Right. It was like, firmware number one. We all know how that goes, right?
Sure.
So it's like it's been, and that was a couple of years ago, right? Helix has been out for a while, so I'd like to try it again. I'm really interested in the Helix. I think it's the Stomp. I want the one that can basically run off of like 9 volt or like 18-volt power, right? It's something you can take portably with you, and if you have a strong enough battery bank, if you brought like yourself like a 10,000 milliamp battery bank, you could actually use it in the normal range. That looks really cool, and from what I've heard, it sounds pretty damn good.
Nice. Hello to Mitch Heyman. Gussie Wells wanted to say hello to Steve. Well, you just did. Lawrence
Hello.
is, I've got the wrinkles worked out using a combo of the unusual things to get good results. Excellent. So kids are still learning, or adults. I don't know who the students are, so that's good. The Lesson Academy continues on. Hello, Jamal. Great Vanzini. All kinds of folks joining in.
Hello, Jamal Kareem.
Jamal, I'm just thinking to myself, I've tried the regular Helix. I tried the Stomp at NAMM last year.
Okay.
And I haven't tried the effects, though. Probably because I didn't make it to the Line 6 room over at the Marriott this year.
That's just it. It's like they're not in the main building. I can't impress on people enough how hard it is to sometimes get out of that main building and get over to that the other building and get in there. It's always been a little tricky for them having that setup, but they don't abandon it. They're sticking with it. I've been doing that for years. Every show I've been to, they've been in that other building.
Wow. Crazy. Pete Brown saying, hey, nice. Whoops.
Hey, yeah.
Trying to scroll, and I'm highlighting instead here. James Severin says, trust me, HX is friggin' great, or friggin' is great.
Yeah, I have heard little snippets of it, of the HX Stomp, and I've liked what I've heard. To anyone out there who owns one, have you ever got a firmware update? That's always, to me, the mark of whether a company is going to like do something for you. Do you ever get, because every once in a while they come out and they say, yeah, you know what, we added like 2 new effects, or we fixed a bunch of bugs.
Right.
There's a new firmware update out there, and the unit's got a little bit more functionality, or a fewer aggravation in its use. Because I have the Boss GT 1000, and the first update was probably a ton of bug fixes. Right. The second update, they actually added a bunch of new amps, a bunch of new effects, and a bunch of new routing options, right? Because this is all just programmable, right?
Sure.
They can program how those outputs are used. That's pretty slick, And then the third one added a whole bunch of bass functionality. They can tune the inputs on like what it's going to get for, everything. So they had a bunch of bass amps and all that. So it's cool. So it's like, it's nice to see if they come out with a,
right.
yeah, I'm firmware update every once in a while, to actually update the product with some new functionality.
4 updates for the Stomp, which is not bad since it debuted at last.
That's a lot.
Damn, that's a
lot. That's a lot. Usually, sometimes you'll see like, yeah, we had 1 update. Yeah, that's a fix a catastrophic flaw that made it out, right? The dude can't abide because there's something out there that, like, 1 update's always like usually like some big bug fix. But 4 updates tells me that's feature updates, right?
Yeah, they're saying like they added the rev amp, a bunch of other effects.
There you go. To me, that is the sign of the type of pedal I'd want to own. Seriously, when I get a pedal and it's static and it never updates, it's boring. It's like I want to be like Christmas. Oh, they got a new firmware out, a new firmware. I want to download it. I want to install it. I want to try out the new amp, right? It breathes life into this product I've already spent my money on. And I look for products that are more like that than ones that are just, that's it. There's no, there'll never be an update.
What did I see there? 2.82 is latest firmware update. G10 Relay just received one for heat issue. Interesting.
Yeah, again, so bug issues too. Because if they have an issue, you find out that like something just isn't turning off. As long as it's not turning off, it's constantly pulling CPU cycles. until it starts to heat up. You're like, oh, this thing's like downright warm. I remember my wife handing me her phone. It was like trying to like work through it. This thing is trying to calculate. I wound up having to kill like a couple of contact lists it was trying to work through, and finally it was just going nuts.
Right.
I was like, this is crazy. It was like parsing out like 3 massive contacts lists.
Let's see. Bunch of people talk about a pedal of Lawrence's that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you need to bring it back, Lawrence, if everyone's praising it. Just saying.
Going to buy the Ibanez Joe Satriani model in soda blue.
Ooh.
I think of the soda blue. I know. I think is that a lighter blue or is that a darker blue? I don't even know. I'm trying to think of the blues. I think a jewel blue. I think a laser blue. I'm thinking the Ibby blues here. Those fountain blue, which was lighter. I don't know where. I don't know where
I don't recall if
that falls in the lighter blue. Peter says it's lighter blue and a maple finger. I like that.
Nice.
Blue with maple. I like the look of blue with maple better than I think I like the look with blue and the darker rosewood, or even ebony.
There's
something about the maple and the blue that really works together.
Yep. I do agree. Let's see. James Severin, HX effects are for people that are happy with the ramp system, just adds great effects to the tube amp. Exactly.
Yeah, and can you do that like 4-cable system with it or something where it can actually do some amp switching for you or some crap like that? I don't even know. I think it's actually pretty powerful, right? The HX effects and how it can like work with your amp.
It looks like Bent Rossum is putting in his request for Lawrence to bring out the Lost Dutchman as a production pedal, which is a nice 2-channel overdrive. Timmy on one side, basically a dimed plexi on the other side.
Jim just raised the stakes. 6-cable.
Ooh.
You thought it couldn't be done. You thought 4-cable was where it was going to end. But now I give to you the 6-cable solution.
Can you imagine? Oh, man. Tomorrow night, Ben. We'll do shots tomorrow night's show. How about that?
Shots.
We did a show one night, and we said we would do a shot every time there's a super chat. So he just kept super chat one after another, and well, most of the guests made it through the show. One of them's just like, "Let's go another hour," and within 5 minutes, he's like, "I'm out of here." It's like, fair enough.
200 effects, 4 cables, and 128 IRs. It's a respectable neighborhood, right? That's another one for Crowbar.
Yeah. Oh, Ben Rossman, the Lost Canuck, the Ben signature Lost Dutchman. I like it. Martin's taking notes. Excellent.
Flipside in the his owl.
Yo, Ike.
The flip.
What's up, dude?
Flipside.
.240 hertz is like modern metal tuning.
Yeah.
Have fun setting up. Has a wet dry rig pedal too. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a thing.
Nice, David. Yeah, we got 80 people watching. So what's the record? I think we hit 110 watching one night.
Wow.
I can't remember who was on.
100
I think that might have been the
million.
Rhett Shull show. The kids seem to like that Rhett Shull kid. I don't know.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Next pedal I want, the Boss SY1 synth pedal. Yeah, that does look interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
Now,
Yeah.
does it take the sound of your guitar, or does it need the GK pickup to work? I don't even know. Like, in other words, is it just listening to your thing and generating it from there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Les just said no GK needed.
GK needed, yeah.
Thank you, Terry.
Flipside says, and I quote, "It's a killer pedal."
Nice.
You take that to the bank.
I'm waiting for more info. There's a collaboration between Flipside and Lawrence Petross Design for the Flipside drive.
Wow.
Rumor has it a prototype made it out to Denver. That's the last I heard. So,
Flip drive?
of course, it was because Dylan at Flipside took it home and refused to bring it back for some extended period of time. So,
Classic
we blame Dylan. Hey, Bearded Blues dude. Nice Strat in the background. Thank you. That's my 89 US standard Strat.
I believe he was talking about my Strat.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Well, you know, that one's not too shabby either. Actually, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier today, they said, I think I don't know if he's in the chat or not. He said, ask Steve if I can have his Flame Strat. And my response was, get in line.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah. I think they got the year later. So I have the 2013. So they varied year to year, right? Some didn't have the channel bound, but the two channel bound years. So I think it was like a flame top with a maple neck in 2012. There was a flame top with channel bound neck in 2013. That's the one I have.
Right.
Then it was quilt top with channel bound neck and small headstock.
Ooh.
In 2014. I think I got one up there right now. Like 1,600. It's not cheap. And then the last year, which was 2015, it was and I should have bought one because they were blowing them out. They had so many out there. It was a Port Orford cedar. The body was made out of cedar. And it had a sick, like, flame neck, right? It was beautiful. But the wood looked so weird. It didn't really have a lot of grain to the cedar. It was very plain. It was like a sunburst.
Okay.
I'm sure it was cool, but it was like just a bizarre. It was Port Orford cedar. It was just for that 1 year. And then the line was discontinued. So it's only like, I think, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then it was done. I think they did it after that. Okay, so someone's saying Port Orford is in Oregon. So that makes sense, right? That's the region. That's where they probably got the cedar from.
Right. Pete Brown also has an 89 Strat. Very cool.
Yeah.
He has the prototype drive in his hands. Nice.
So, yeah, Flipside, how you doing with, because you got some online sales, right, that are buttressing walk-in sales, right? How are you handling that? Because I think Denver's shut down, right? Aren't they? No?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Around here, it's pretty shut down.
I saw he was doing the curbside pickup as of last week. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got massive. The one thing Flipside's got is like every freaking pedal. You've ever seen his pedal selection? It's
I know, it's unreal.
He's going to reverb. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're open for online sale and for pickup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
I was browsing the Flipside website just the other night, seeing what was there, and every once in a while I'll do that. Which,
Yeah.
folks, if you haven't checked out already, Flipside Music usually does a weekly FAQ show on their YouTube channel. Check it out. Ike and Dylan hosting that. Wasn't one this week, which I'm not surprised because they usually shoot in the store, and if you're not at work necessarily.
Right.
But check out some older episodes, folks. They're timeless. I tell you, they're timeless.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling this year.
No.
Last year, I did everything.
Yeah, you did.
Last year, I did like the NAMM show and then Dallas. And I went to Cleveland with the family. And then I went to Germany. And then for Tolman. And then back again for Spirit Con with Hughes and Kettner.
Right.
And Summer NAMM. Right.
Yep.
And then 42 Gear Street.
Yeah.
With Henning. And then Flipside Fest,
right?
The Flipside thing with Vola. A lot of freaking traveling last year. I did 38,000 miles last year.
That's crazy.
So
thanks, Lawrence. We discussed that earlier. The guard wasn't in the right setting when I trimmed the beard today. He says, I think my beard is longer than yours.
Yeah.
Just means I get to go longer before I have to trim it again.
There you go. Yeah, it was a lot last year, and this year I went to NAMM and I was only there for 2 days. Like crazy. And then I doubt I'll be doing anything else for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I heard Summer NAMM is all but canceled at this point.
Oh, I can't see it happening.
No.
You're going to be lucky if you see Winter NAMM next year. That's what I see. Because if they don't have a vaccine, and these things often go just like you have an earthquake followed by tremors, right? Mm-hmm. That's how this is going to work. You're going to have a big earthquake. That's a big first one. You're going to see a few aftershocks, right? Always the way. Yep. You're going to see little blips back up again and back down again and up and back down again until there's a vaccine to really put the numbers down.
Exactly. Great Vanzini asked if they've canceled Dallas. As far as
they moved it.
Yeah, to like October?
No, July 31st, August 1st, and August 2nd.
Oh.
Stay tuned for the second postponement and or cancellation, because I don't think that we're going to have the green light, free and clear signal by then. I really don't. No. Even if we do, I think that you're going to see people really hesitant to do it. And I think you'll have to put a little bit more time between the catastrophe and people feeling good about getting on a plane again.
Right. Yeah, you might be right there, Terry. Winter NAMM this year might be the only big music event of the year.
Yeah. Well, think about this. That virus is around a month before friggin' NAMM.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember we were joking about it.
There were plenty of people at the NAMM show who flew in from China. Mm-hmm. I mean, that whole friggin' downstairs.
That's what I was going to say. Everyone was joking. Don't go into the basement. I hung out there all afternoon on Saturday. And I was talking with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like saying that's the most international area, because I was talking with folks from Italy, Japan, China, Russia, England. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with Krellbar. If they do develop a vaccine, it will go to the health industry first so that they can treat people without getting sick.
Exactly. Yeah.
I tell you, I got a little scared when they had a dude on who was like, maybe a little bit older than me, but not much older. And, he was a doctor and he was like, he's on there, he's going like, I was real bad a couple of days ago, but I'm doing much better now. And I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah.
You sound like you're about to, oh my God. Dude.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I was like, oh my God, Jesus.
Ben Rossum, thank you very much. He says, Steve, would you mind telling us about your background? What made you start guitar? What other jobs you had or other hobbies, if not too personal?
I started playing guitar when I was real young, 6, because there was a show on TV called Hee Haw, and they had a lot of like country music. It was a silly show, something that would appeal to a 5-year-old. I was right in the zone, right in the zone with the humor on that show, and they and I loved Roy Clark.
Yeah.
And so, like when I was like 5 and 6 years old, I used to watch Hee Haw like crazy, and because we only had 4 channels of TV back then.
First big concert I ever went to was Roy Clark.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
And so I just really loved Roy Clark. You know, the big smile, and it just seemed like a, you know, and the playing, and there was just something about him that I just really and what I realized is that everybody, it's weird. It's like everybody could, you know, throw a baseball, toss a football, you know, play a little bit of hockey, even ice skate, play basketball, right? There's so many things, but they couldn't just pick up a guitar and play it. It was like, well, why? And they're like, well, you have to really learn that. It really did feel like a special skill that was just like, I was like, oh, how do these people just be able to do it? And then you figure out, you just learn it. It's a very long time of practicing, and that's how you slowly build it, you know. But so my parents got me. They didn't buy a guitar because of me. They bought a guitar because my sister got injured, and she was in the hospital for a night. She was fine, but my dad brought her home a guitar to cheer her up, and I had like exclusive use of it for 24 hours before she got home from the hospital, and I was really enamored with it.
Sure.
You know, and they were like, I said, well, I want a guitar. And they were like, well, we're only going to have the one guitar, but we'll get lessons, you know, for you. And they did. They got lessons. In fact, my guitar teacher just recently passed away, just like about a month ago. Yeah, I took lessons from him from 72 until 76.
Wow.
4 years. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, that was sort of it. And then I took a little time off. I didn't play guitar for a couple of years, but then, you know, you get a little older, you want to be cool.
That's right.
And then it comes, you know, and so I got right back into it again. I didn't take a break for very long. I don't know, 3 years, something like that. And that was that. So when I was in high school, I sort of did the, you know, like a little bit of. I took music classes when I could. In fact, we had a new director of the music department my senior year, and he put together a music theory class that I took that year. I learned more music theory that friggin' year. Oh my God, was that class good? It was it was stunningly amazing, like how much it taught me about music and how like things were organized and everything. That I go back to that high school class over and over and over again. You know, when I think about examples, I'd be like, oh, what did Joe Brogan say? Oh, right. You know, so anyway. Yeah, that was that. And there you go.
You worked at a music store too, as I recall?
I did. I worked at a music store for like 10 years. Started that when I was in, I think, in fact, I think I started, no, I was already back. So Berkeley ended in 83. Next year was fall of 84. I didn't start for them until the fall of 85. I graduated high school, and I had been working for a mall company around here called Flatley. Flatley owns a bunch of malls, and I worked in the landscaping department, which is probably why I do some landscaping around my house. right? And what you get into when you're young, And so you learn how to mow a lawn, you learn how to take care of a little square space and treat lawns and all stuff. It was a dangerous job. I look back and think of the stuff we did with very heavy mowers up on hills being held by ropes. If that mower ever got let go, it would have friggin' sawed me in half.
Oh yeah.
That thing was like a beast, and the blades didn't stop when you let go of it. This is, 1985, the summer of '85. They had nothing like safety protocols like that.
Oh hell no.
That thing was a friggin' death machine. A death machine. And oh my God, we used to have to mow that hill. It was so friggin' dangerous. Anyway, and that summer, I remember going to the music store, and they were like, are you still working for the company? I said, well, no, the summer's over. We're pretty much laid off for the winter. And they're like, go come work for us for Christmas. And I was like, all right. And I worked there like for 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, Joe Brogan. Exactly. Not Joe Rogan. Joe Brogan. That really was his name. Joe Brogan.
Nice. I see. It looks like Blackie and Pete Brown here both went to see the same concert back in '79. It's crazy.
Really? I don't think I had seen a concert yet by '79. I think my first concert was '80.
I think for me it was around 89, 90, and that was, Roy Clark, and that was because he was playing locally here. My dad was still involved with the musicians union for the area, and one of his buddies, a bunch of them were going to go to the concert, and one of his buddies couldn't go, so he said to me, you want to go? And of course, you're 15, you're into the hair metal, but I'm like, that Roy Clark guy can play regardless, so I'm going to go because I know I'm going to be taken to school. And I think we sat like fourth or fifth row, and I just sat there. When he does his takeaway solo during the show, and it's, we'll start on a flat top, go into a banjo, grab the fiddle, play a bit there. It's like Eddie Van Halen's Eruption, but multi-instrument.
Right.
Just insane.
Yeah, my first concert was Blue Oyster Cult. They played the gymnasium of my high school. I went to this like all boys private prep school, and they friggin' sold a ton of chocolate bars.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, they'll reward you with a concert if you hit a certain level of sales.
Sure.
And they hit it, and we were supposed to be Van Halen. And Van Halen basically said, no. They had a couple of songs that were hitting big on the radio. Everybody Wants Some, and The Cradle Will Rock became like a bit of a single. And they're like, sure. We won't play high school anymore. So they had to go find someone else. I remember going to the orientation, and they're like, we got the band who's going to be playing. Because the chocolate bar sales, and they're like fresh from their Black and Blue tour. Well, the Black and Blue tour was Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio.
Ooh.
And Blue Oyster Cult. When I tell you, I was like, are you about to say that Black Sabbath is going to play my high school? They're like, Blue Oyster Cult. And I was like, It was still great. It was unbelievable. The stage took up half the friggin' gymnasium.
Oh, no doubt.
I in my head, I had imagined this tiny little stage off in the corner. When I got there, half the room was walled off with a giant sound stage. I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, like they brought the good gear. Yeah.
It drew so much power. It like blew out a big transformer. And the town had to wait till the show was over before they fixed it. And they were livid. They wound up passing an ordinance that banned all live shows within town limits. I was like, pretty bold.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So, and then I think
right after he saw that tour,
I think right after that, like a week later or 2 weeks later, a buddy of mine had tickets to go see the Cars at Boston Garden.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, I'll go. And we went down. I was supposed to go see the Kinks. They were on that One for the Road tour, right? That live album. And they were playing the Cape Cod Coliseum, and which is like it's a pretty small venue, about a 5,000 seater, like a general admission stadium, big floor with, bleacher seats, no assigned seating. And, but I couldn't go. My parents wouldn't let me go. And then, for the Cars, they were like, if you go, who's driving you down? And my friend was like, oh, this guy here. And they like picked us up and they were like, thanks. I get in the car. He turns to me. He goes like, yeah, he's not driving us in there. He's dropping us off the bus. So we have to take the key in. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he's not really driving us in. I just knew your parents. They weren't going to let you go if they knew you were taking because they went through a pretty bad area of Boston. I was like, whatever, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Sure.
Take the bus down to Forest Hills. I was like, yeah, it's a little different. Oh, we get up by the trolley. Jesus. I'm running up, grabbing the trolley. We had taken it's the elevator back then. It was up and going into the city and seeing the show. And then when it was done, my parents, they were like, oh, we'll drive them in. And you got to pick us up and take us out. So my parents drove in and picked us up.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Loving that, I bet. Yeah.
But he didn't really drive us in. We took the friggin' orange line. And, yeah. And then I think the one after that might have been, I want to say it was AC/DC on the For Those About to Rock tour.
Oh, nice.
And that was a really good show. That was like so memorable. I was like, damn. And I remember like a year later, a bunch of friends of mine went and saw Van Halen on, I want to say, the Mean Street tour, whatever. Oh, it could have been Diver Down, whatever came out in 82. I guess that was Diver Down.
Yeah.
Or was that 83? I think it was 82. And so many of my friends saw that tour, and I missed it. And a bunch of friends of mine saw the original Kiss on the Dynasty tour. Oh, and wow. I know that Kiss was pretty weak at that point, but that was the last one of like the original.
Exactly.
In that original run, and I couldn't go. Again, so many friends went, and I just heard about it later.
Sure.
What a crazy show. I went to go see Iron Maiden at the Cape Cod Coliseum.
Oh.
On the Peace of Mind tour. That was pretty crazy. That was a friggin' parking lot full of metalheads, let me tell you. That show, there's a lot of fights going on in there. That was pretty crazy. Oh, that was a set. Fastway opened up, and a dude beamed the singer off the head with a bottle, and I mean really cracked him hard. He had to be concussed. He got hit so hard. You could see he was wobbly. And he goes, oh, good. That was a good one. You know what I'm saying? And this dude came out from behind the stage, came running out, and leaned over the front of the stage and punched, because everyone was pressed against the stage. He must have seen it. And he just like ran down and he just unloaded on this dude. The whole crowd was going nuts. And he was a big dude. He just unloaded on this guy on the front. He must have smashed him in the head a dozen times. It was like, damn. It went on. It went on for a while. I was like, wow, this is a pretty crazy show we're at right here.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever, I think I was 17, just got my license. I was the only one with a car.
Right.
Everyone else is 16 or 17. We're all down by ourselves. We're supposed to be staying at Stephen Larkin's house, but, his parents are up seeing Liberace at the Boston Garden.
Right.
And we're supposed to be spending the night. Of course, the show gets over, we get back to the house, and he goes, oh shit, my parents are here. We were like, what? He's like, yeah, they must have drove back, because we were down the Cape. And he's like, yeah, they must have drove back down. I go, well, what does that mean? He goes, it means good night. Like, got out with it. We're like, we have no place to go. What are you doing?
Yeah, the good old days where
man.
your brother's in arms, but then all of a sudden your best friend could leave you hanging in a certain situation.
Yeah, I know that was crazy. I remember we went down the beach and pretty much stuck in like the parking lot at like Dennis Beach, and I was like, oh my god. But I think now you wouldn't even be able to do that. A cop would have driven through and said, what are you doing? Would have been right up to the car with a flashlight. Like, what are you? But back then, you could just stay at the beach for the night. There was overnight parking,
Yeah.
And so like we were just in the friggin' car literally in the beach public friggin' parking lot. For a while we went out on the beach because it was, and then all of a sudden we're looking off in the distance and it's like you could see like lightning, you see it. And then eventually you could start to hear it very faintly and it got louder and louder. I'm like, pretty sure that's a big storm coming in off the ocean, guys. We should probably head back to the car.
Yeah.
We go back to the car. We're not in the car maybe 15 minutes. And I mean, like, just like whiteout rain. The car's all hot and muggy, like the middle of friggin' August. Oh God, that was such a crazy night. You couldn't sleep. You're sitting in a 1979 Mercury Grand Marquis vinyl seats. Like all sweaty. I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Oh, good times. Well, we've hit about an hour and a half here. I think we'll probably wrap things up. I'm going to grab a late dinner myself. No offense, but everyone's been live the last few days, and I've been watching a lot of live streams, and I didn't eat dinner yet. So
nice. I have a buffalo chicken calzone and a large cheese pizza waiting for me downstairs. So
there we are.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything to add, my good man?
No, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. And stay safe to everyone.
Yeah. Yes, everyone out there.
Practice,
stay safe,
social
stay
distancing, and lots of hand washing.
That's right. And stay at home, stay inside, watch a bunch of YouTube. We can think of a couple of channels. I'm sure there's lots of videos you haven't seen on either one. Just saying. Yeah. Well, what? It's always a pleasure hanging out. We always have a good time. I was just thinking back, during your last story there, hanging out at Summer NAMM. We just stood around for like 45 minutes shooting the shit there one afternoon because you can at that place. So yeah. Always great catching up. Definitely everyone check out if you haven't already subscribed to Steve. I don't know why you wouldn't. For those who don't know, Steve was the first channel I ever subscribed to.
Wow.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Damn.
You were the first many years ago. Some guy talking about these guitars out of China that look like guitars out of Nashville. I don't know.
That video did get a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah. Well, I ended up with one as a result. So there we are.
Yeah.
So there we are. So yes, thank you everybody that tuned in tonight. Thanks to Steve. Thanks everybody that made a donation to the channel. Much appreciated, believe me. And I will be back at 8 p.m. tomorrow with Canucks with Guitars. And I'm working on a special hangout with Pete Thorne coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. If not, 1 week from tonight, next Sunday, we have Dave Riome from Dave's World of Fun Stuff coming on, talking guitar repair and fun stuff like that. So as always, folks, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Karma's real. I'm living the dream. I hope you are too. Cheers and rock on, and be good to each other, folks.